All right, another best of 3 starting up right now. It's the semifinals for the EnerJ Cup. It is, of course, an energy drink, and I don't know much about it, so I can't sell it to you. But I know that they put on this event, so mad props to them. Spawning here in the top right corner of the map, playing for my insanity, we once again find ourselves following, stalking, and enjoying the playstyles of Jjakji, whom you may find on Twitter at Jjakji, not too surprisingly. His opponent in the lower left, the Polish pride known as Dignitas Tefel. You can find him apparently at Tefel.pl or at Dignitas Tefel, whichever you prefer to check out. He's got a Facebook too, facebook.com/sc2tefel. If we're just gonna put all the links out. Actually, I can see. Emil, is it Tefel or Tefel for saying? I don't know if I'm being trolled in chat. I got trolled pretty hard the other night by chat, so I don't trust you guys in correcting my pronunciation anymore. I love you guys, but I don't trust you anymore. Alright, we're gonna go with Tefel for now. Emil, by the way, is a Polish awesome dude. Or wait, is he just asking? Don't disrupt the game, Emil!
Game paused.
He's pausing because he thinks Emil's talking to him. Way to go, dude. Way to go. Alright, well, see some stuff coming up here. We do give credit to any music we use where we can, guys. So if you're ever curious about what songs are involved with these map introductions, you can find them usually in one of the corners of the screen while they're playing. Wow, when you're not lagging, you're ruining game for players. Mattercaster. I love Emil, by the way. Emil's a really cool dude. He's probably one of the few people I really got involved with StarCraft. Like when we first stepped into casting, like, okay, this is fun story, nobody cares, it's nothing to do with the players, and I'm sorry. Emil was one of the first people we worked with, or I worked with, I should say, when it came to foreign languages. And he's been involved with a lot of the casts that we've done in the past, like whether it was following through Zotac, DreamHack, etc. He's a funny guy. But okay, we'll stop with the focus on Emil for now. Tefel! I want to talk about him a lot. I really want to talk about him a lot here. We've seen what Jjakji can do. We've seen him dismantle players. Whatever. You guys know. It's Jjakji. Whatever. Hey, he's good. Tefel, though, is a player who, unfortunately, while he's been sort of wrestling, I guess, with these, like, these little outbursts of BM, if you could ignore that, he's actually a fantastically good player who I think a lot of you guys may have written off in your books a long time ago because you're like, oh, it's just some crappy Dignitas player who never gets past the quarterfinals of tournaments. Now he regularly goes head-to-head with Koreans. If this was like 3-4 months ago, Jjakji wins this game 3-0. 2-0, sorry. No question whatsoever. That being said, this could easily go in the favor of Tefel. Not saying that he necessarily outright beats Jjakji 2-0, but I can see him taking games. Now, Reaper's going to get over here, so Jjakji with a very classic opening. We'll try and get into the drone line here. It's actually no, wait, what? There's no Zerglings came out yet. Why is he still droning? I guess he's just very confident he can hold this, but there's no queen. What is he? Oh my god. Tefel, what are you doing? Okay, here comes the queen. Finally pops out. Doesn't lose anything to this, of course. Quite nice hold there. Without lings, I might add. That's the most impressive part of this, as weird as that is to consider. Both players currently stationed in Europe, worth noting too, so there's no I'm in Korea, you're on EU advantage. Oftentimes, lag is actually something that's not an excuse in StarCraft 2, but a legitimate concern. If you guys have never tried playing West Coast to like Europe, or like East Coast to Korea, you have no idea what lag looks like. But Jjakji, of course, he's opened up in the most standard way possible. He's even going to be going for the cloaked Banshee. Well, might not cloak them. He didn't cloak them last time. But he may be going off with the, just the regular Banshees. He did this versus Dana in the earlier game today, if you guys recall. It worked out quite nicely. But that's actually, I gotta give Tefel a bit of a nod there. Typically, you see 4 to 6 lings made to hold off that initial Reaper, but not freaking out at all, keeping his cool. He's got the wall coming up in a second. Roach Horn being kept in the back. Nope, sorry, never mind. Thought this was another Evolution Chamber. So another evolution chamber comes down. You know, you get 2 queens to choke it off. Worst case scenario, you throw a spine crawler into that bunch, and you're good to go. As far as making sure that nothing gets past, I mean. Yeah, some of you guys have never seen First Blood before. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something we do for fun. Hellion gonna come forward here. He wants to stop these creep tumors, of course, but there's no point burning his scan this early. So he's just hoping Tefel starts spreading them out through habit, but that's not gonna happen. Not with the Hellions right there on the edge of the creep. Full wall off pretty much established at this point, so Jjakji can't really burst on through yet. Once the Banshee comes, though, killing a queen is a non-issue. Tefel does not have the extra queen it's produced. He's got 3 in total defending, so it's not like he's got 5 or 7. And because of this, he's actually not going to have a lot of transfused energy available either. He's got enough for 1 at the moment. Oh man, that's some dangerous creep spread. That's some dangerous creep spread, but he's going to get away with it. Jjakji is not looking, so okay. Whatever. Oh, nope, there he goes. He realized. Cancels the tumor immediately. Still gets one of the tumors out. It's like the danger zone right there. If you guys ever saw that the video Suppy did. Anyways, Banshee gonna come down here towards the main. There is of course 1 queen defending, and as we saw before earlier today, a Banshee beats a queen pretty one-sidedly, especially one-on-one. The Overseer's coming out. I don't know if Tefel scouted or if he's just getting prepared for Widow Mines or what have you, but there is no cloak behind this. It's strictly a Banshee, and he's gonna pick up a couple of those workers. He should be able to get the queen and get out if he wants to, but I guess yeah, with the roaches out, Tefel technically could pull the queens back towards the main. Oh, well, this is going on, and we got a little bit of denouement. I think that's the French word for no action and the climax proceeding. I want to give a shout out to Arbiter101. Thank you for the subscription, man. Thank you for the support on Base Stray TV. Very much appreciate it, and don't forget to ace-skate on your way out. Spore Crawler, though, at well, not every base, at least the 3rd, it's the most exposed with not a lot of queen coverage. Ooh, is Tefel really going to go full on Roach Hydra? Okay, so I didn't think much of this before when you had the +1 weapon upgrades, and I didn't bring it up because sometimes you do see this. Like, roaches are fine for fighting the mid-game. You put +1 weapon on them, they can actually go for a counterattack, sometimes all in off of 3 bases. But Tefel's just straight up playing Roach Hydra, and this is where I wince a little bit. I'm trying to remember where it was. I want to say the IEM qualifiers as well. I could be mistaken for that. On the EU version, where he did Roach Hydra and he got destroyed by drops. Because the problem is when you go Roach Hydra, you actually don't have a very good way of shutting down medevacs. And on a map like Derelict Watcher, this is such a big map to try and keep track of. Keeping your Hydralist rotating between your 3rd and your main is kind of out of the question. So in a straight-on army engagement, Roach Hydra is going to destroy bio most of the time. But you're not going to get those straight-on engagements. Jjakji's typically going to be moving around the map, dropping you. Once he recognizes there's no Mutalisks to kill medevacs, he's going to have this really free pathway open to just drop, 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 drop. And of course, his bio is going to deal well with the roaches in the first place. Hydralisks are kind of a conundrum in ZVT because the way they work, first off, you'd love to have a bunch of tanks out to deal with the Hydras and keep them back. Typically, though, as a bio player, you're not going to have a whole lot of tanks. Jjakji's going to invest in some because I think he's recognized what Tefel's going for here, but there's no counter to Hydralisk straight up. Yes, Hellions technically count, but even then, these are like the more glass cannon-y than Hydralisks are. Hydralisks have such high DPS with a fairly low amount of health at 80 and almost no armor associated with them that they go down pretty quick. But the only way to really beat Hydralisks with bio, if you've got no tanks and no Blue Flame Hellions, is to just outnumber them is the problem. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. It sounds easy, but it's not necessarily that easy. 2 tanks, though, will prevent Tefel from pushing in here. They do cover half of this ramp, but if he hugs the ramp, he can sneak into this base. We'll take a couple hits here. Of course, doesn't... I don't know if this is engagement Tefel necessarily wants to take, but he's going to go for it anyways. If he can get on top of the tanks, most of the bio's already gone down. Hydralisks are being focus fired because, again, it's not the roaches that are scary, but it is the Hydralist coming in from behind. Tefel with some reinforcements. Oh, those corpses go flying. At least for Hydralist, they go flying. Just kind of like looped over half the army. Not looking good for Tefel, though. He's got some slowlings with his army here, too. Cannon fodder without metabolic boost is not the most effective cannon fodder, and Jjakji holds that very, very decisively. Another tank popping out to replace the one that did go down. Tefel will force a lift off on the 3rd, but not that he can kill it. There's not enough Hydralisks here, unfortunately. Muscular Augments has been researched, or has not been researched either, so the Hydralisks are kind of limited. Has now started the research on that, but if he can contain Jjakji, if he makes sure Jjakji doesn't transfer, well, never mind, Jjakji's going to transfer. Another engagement being forced here out of Tefel. I don't know that I like this. Again, he's got the Hydros count, which is quite nice, but there's tanks behind this, something you typically don't expect your Terran player to have because they'll be investing so heavily in the bio. Looks like the tank should be able to hold this off, albeit just barely. Hydros corpses are going to flip. They are going to fly, and the last couple will go down. Pulling back off this, though, there's no way for him to extend to save this third. Tefel could move in here, possibly. I think he doesn't know quite if that tank covers the ramp. It does not cover the bottom part, but still not going to risk it either way. And behind this, if Jjakji... Okay, so he had to use a lot of his bio to defend, right? Like, it soaked the hit so the tanks could survive, all these wonderful things. If he could drop behind this is where Tefel gets in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have the mobility to retreat back home. This is why sometimes you actually... it sounds so dumb to say, you'll sometimes either see Overlord drops, which is just the grossest, stupidest thing to see come out of Hydralisk, which is very rare, or alternatively a 90 Swarm to sort of carry your units around a little more effectively. I do like watching Ultras, or, well, I'll talk about, sorry, not Ultras, Overlord drops, so I'll talk about that in a second as I misspeak and get all the units wrong. Another engagement being forced out of Tefel. This time he's on top of the tanks, something Jjakji was able to prevent before. Hydros are going to take these down. The depots are stuck due to where that tank was sieged up. And looks like finally this third base will go down. Tefel may have thrown a lot away to make this happen. The resources lost. Definitely not economically saying that this was savvy, but if he can kill this third, if the orbital falls, this is really going to put a pin in Jjakji's production. 2-2 on the way for Jjakji as well. Orbital is trying to run away. Trying to run away. Emphasis on trying, but doesn't look like it will. It's already burning, and there's no chance to repair this. So now stuck on 2 bases. Not a situation Jjakji wants to be on, but Tefel has done this right to the effect where he's not killed a lot, he's not come out ahead economically, but Jjakji hasn't been able to drop. If Jjakji had been able to get 1 medevac out while this was going on, this might look a little bit different, but if he pulls even 1 medevac's worth of units away, then maybe he doesn't have enough left to defend, and he knows this. Jjakji is a very intelligent player who likes to play defensively, and he's certainly doing that right now. Another engagement coming in on this ramp. 4 siege tanks is going to be enough to push this back. Now on 2-2 upgrades. Well, about to be on 2-2 upgrades with his own bio in a moment's time. Viking was hunting overlords, I guess. Banshee is still here, by the way. Inactive at the moment, of course. Can't take a queen, not with this low health, but maybe drop a mule, sneak an SCV out, repair it, something. I don't know. Creep spread has begun once again for Tefel, by the way. This was incredibly delayed due to the presence of those Hellions early on, and Tefel not investing in a whole lot of extra queens, but he finally has it on the map in a position maybe he wants it to be. But this is looking scary. This is Tefel nearly maxed. There's even a queen on the front lines. We have this will be a planetary fortress this time instead of an orbital, of course. That's why he's moving it over as a naked command center. It's not just being inefficient or anything like that, but tries to find a better position to take a fight, trying to force it out once again. Tanks are in range for a lot of this, but there's so much here. I don't know if the bio can force this off. He's going to try his best. Of course, tank fire focusing on the Hydras once again. Love this choice, but it looks like it might just be a little too overwhelming. SCVs are going to be pulled to try and buffer slash repair slash soak hits, but unfortunately for Jjakji, I think this one might just do a little too much damage. He might not finish off the tanks. In fact, well, hold that thought. It looks like he will finish off the tanks here. One does siege, and the corpse slips on top of the supply depot. Tefel will not be able to break this base, but the damage he does here, if he could stop this third once again, looks like he will. Oh god, it's not even going to get to be a planetary fortress. We'll just straight up die. This sucks for Tefel, or for Jjakji. Tefel is playing a very scrappy game, and that's working for him. And again, a lot of you guys probably came into the series saying, who's this Tefel kid? Get out of Jjakji's way so we can go to the finals. But Tefel says, forget you guys, watch me, learn about me, and appreciate how good I play this game. Because right now, Roach Hydra, a composition that should not work most of the time, ZVT, is working out fantastically well for him. Jjakji's upgrades about to take the lead, though, coming up on his level 3 weapon upgrade. It's going to be great for pushing these Hydralisks back, as actually Tefel's only on 2-2. Of course, that's not unsurprising, as Zerg players typically delay that level 3 upgrades, but playing Roach Hydra, you'd expect to see some Vipers in the mix, some Blinding Clouds, some Abducts, but doesn't need any of them, as he just brute forces in once again. Tefel will take out the tanks. SCVs are pulled. Jjakji in a lot of disarray, not looking too good right now. And he breaks on through to the Nashville. The production just isn't here. Good game is called. Wow. Tefel takes game 1 in this best of 3 semifinals.